Let me look at what it is. I think Tory's team dropped it. So the truth uncovered. Suppressed evidence proves Tory Lanez is innocent. So for best viewing, please turn your phone and refresh if you're mobile. The truth becomes clear when the facts come to light. Key inconsistencies, unreliable testimony, missing evidence prove Daystar Peterson, also known as Tory Lanez, was convicted based on a flawed and incomplete narrative. Through Megan Pete's own words, police reports, and expert analysis, the facts suggest Tory Lanez did not fire the weapon and tried to stop the conflict. The case deserves to be reconsidered as the evidence points to a different truth. Fact checklist. Meg told the police and doctors she stepped on glass, not shot. Video and officers confirmed Meg stepped on glass, not hit by gunfire. Sean Kelly testified 2 women fought in the street. One fired first. Tory was still in the car. Kelsey tested positive for gunshot residue. Her DNA was never tested against the gun. Kelsey received rent-free for a year after the shooting. Who paid and why? EJ said an object in a girl's luggage looked like a gun. Megan claimed that she spoke out in response to Tory, but the timeline proves she went public first. Tory's DNA was not found on the magazine, only 0.01% on the gun. Statistically, it's irrelevant. 90% of the DNA on the gun belongs to an unknown male, and it's not Tory. Tory's jail call apology was about the drama of sleeping with 2 friends, not a shooting. Tory has repeatedly said, I would never do anything like this. No bullet fragment on the x-ray, no nerve damage, fractures, or joint trauma in Megan's medical records. Bullet fragments were lost, never presented at trial. Prosecutors misused Tory's rap lyrics, tattoos, and uncharged allegations to sway the jury. Kelsey's story changed multiple times. Then she admitted to lying under pressure. Megan's own timelines and injuries don't match the story of a shooting. In her own words, I ain't get cut by no glass, but let me tell you why they're saying that.
I ain't get cut by no glass, but let me tell you why they saying that.
Okay, so why are they saying that? So let's step into the truth. Glass or gunshot. Here's the following videos. Showed Meg The Stallion injured at the scene. She was stating she was cut by glass and not shot.
Go to jail.
What's that?
Do you think we're gonna go to jail?
I don't know. We're trying to figure it all out. As long as you guys cooperate with us and you guys tell us what happened, we'll go accordingly, okay? But if you guys are not telling us, if you guys are, then I don't think...
I really cannot go to jail.
Okay.
I cannot have that on my image.
Okay. So how did that happen to you? Glass? Where?
Oh, Meg did say glass.
I cannot have that on my image.
Okay. So how did that happen to you? Glass? Where?
Where we were coming from. But I'm not from here, so I...
Okay.
That's the only place you got shot at? That's the only place you got shot?
I didn't get shot.
Oh, you did it?
No, man. I mean, no, sir.
It's clear. Body cam footage. She definitely said she did not get shot.
Any evidence of any shooting or anything? That's how we got dispatched.
Well, we have the gun here, and then we have other units. They're searching the house where it happened. So that's all we have so far.
So nothing happened in the vehicle.
No, we don't have any casings. No.
Okay, from what you've been told. Okay.
And then there's some cash over, looks like.
Was the person who got caught with the other people here that you have in handcuffs? Were they all together?
They were all together.
Yes, they were all in the same car.
Okay. And then, do we know how she got cut?
I believe when she stepped down, there's a glass.
She dropped a glass bottle, and then I think she stepped on it and cut herself, getting out of the vehicle.
Okay.
That's interesting. Now, I'll pause it here. So this is body cam recording when police just show up. If Meg was bleeding from the shooting, remember they drove off from the scene and they got pulled over later. There should be blood in the car. If the police are investigating, they got to be able to use common sense. If they're saying that she got cut when they pulled her over and they said, "Get out of the car." And when she opened the door, a bottle falls, it breaks. She's barefoot, she steps on the bottle. That's how she's bleeding. Now, if there shouldn't be blood in the car, right? There shouldn't be blood in the car if she got cut with a bottle when she was coming out of the car, right? Anyway. But the police are saying they believe that she stepped on a bottle coming out. So it looked like there was a broken bottle. I don't know if we see it. And it says right here.
It's right down the floor.
Oh, this is the bottle. Here's the bottle. Here's the bottle that's broken, supposedly.
Yeah.
Rear passenger, step out of the vehicle. Let me see your hands. Show us your hands. Come out with your hands up. Okay? Come out, people passenger, with your hands up. Hands up. Alright, move back to the sound of my voice. Keep your hands up. Move back to the sound of my voice. Move back. Keep going. Keep going. Hey, stop, stop. Move to the left. Keep moving.
It's right down the floor.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be...
Keep going.
Sorry, what the fuck? So that would be the broken bottle. Then there's another body cam footage where it says she cut herself when she stepped out. Here
She cut herself when she stepped out. She cut herself when she stepped out.
Okay. Something else.
Move back to the sound of my voice.
Move back.
Back.
Oh,
Keep
she
going.
cut herself.
Keep going.
So she cut herself. Wow. Okay. Okay. Interesting. In her own words, the police bitch was so rude.
I get to the motherfucking hospital, the police bitch being so rude to me. Well, what's going on? Like, da-da-da-da, you're being detained, da-da-da. Ma'am, I'm being detained, I'm leaking. But I'm still not saying what happened. Shit crazy.
But what happened in the hospital? What did Megan say happened in the hospital? Said police calmly spoke with Megan, who says she stepped on glass and mentioned she already had cuts on her right foot from stepping on glass days before. Here we go.
And so what happened with you were just one ball stepping on glass. I have another cut on my right foot. I just stepped on glass the other day. So you were already hurt when you got into the room. And then at that point, your friends were running down from the hospital.
Now, I'm going to be very honest here, chat. And again, I always say we could look at black and white, but sometimes we got to use a little brain, right? So I've heard Meg say this too. Because Meg has admitted she lied to the cops, right? She hasn't admitted to every lie she's told. Like, for example, it took her a while for her to admit that she lied to Gayle King. But she did admit that she lied to the cops, right? Or she's now claiming she lied to the cops. Because her story then became, he shot me. When asked why, she said she did it to protect a black man, and she said Tory was fucking with her, and she was trying to let Tory off. I'm going to be honest, even if that's true, I do think we have serious issues when a woman or anybody else gives one statement that says, I did this to myself, does not point to anyone else harming her. She doesn't call the name of anyone harming her. And despite that evidence that exists of the person said, I did this to myself, someone still goes to jail for 10 years. That is kind of, remember in court, you got to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Anyway, okay. In her words, I try to keep it off the internet. Let's hear this.
So, since y'all hoes so worried about it, yes, this nigga Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Stop lying. Why lie? I don't understand. I tried to keep the situation off the internet.
Okay. Says she tried to keep it off the internet, however, she spoke first. Okay. Timeline contradicts Megan's claims. Nothing negative exists. That's why I didn't want to say nothing in the first place. This would have never came out if Tory would have never went to the internet telling everyone his side of the story. Says terrible because I didn't want to say anything in the first place. So not only did I say and not say anything, I didn't want to get ahead but want you to get ahead of it, want to make yourself look like you're the victim. Why you did not want to say anything in the first place? I guess, okay, so they're asking. This is George Mezeshin, I remember his name. So objection, asked and answered. The court says, I think we've covered that, sustained. It says, what was your plan when this first happened? As far as what you would say, I wasn't going to say anything. I didn't want it to go anywhere. I'm embarrassed. Then the question becomes, I know you told the police you stepped on broken glass. About 4 days later, you came forward to the police and said you got shot. She says, yes. And that was to a detective? She says, yes. In those 4 days, what brought about the change of heart? She says, I know it's small chat. I had a change of heart because I saw online that he tried to start getting ahead of the story and to put on a bunch of different narratives about what happened. Okay, interesting. Let's see if we can play this. So they're showing the timeline. Megan posts about her getting shot. 7:15. 7:16, she names Daystar to the police. 7:27, she goes live on his birthday, wearing all her chains. 8:20, she publicly names Daystar as a shooter. 9:24, he tweets for the first time. 10:20, he goes live responding to her. So let me try to explain this timeline, how I remember it. Yeah. Again, I'm obviously giving my version of the events, so you might think I'm biased. Meg, I believe, it wasn't necessarily what she was blaming Tory for. You gotta remember, Tory's like a gangster rapper. Like, Tory wasn't really saying nothing. And I know she might think that Tory was having blogs to do stuff. I mean, I talked to Tory's team. They didn't tell me nothing, like, during that time. They were just vague about anything that happened. I think what happened was that Meg had all these sponsors, and it was coming out now that Meg might have been in some shit that was criminal. And because Tory, like, if we accuse Tory of saying shooting at a rapper that don't like him, it's not going to hurt him. Meg riding with Tory, because that's what we thought at first. Like, they ran into some rappers or some niggas try to rob him, or they had an argument with another group and there was shots. That's how we're thinking. We're not thinking that all the shots have to do with people in that car. That's how we're first thinking. But Meg's reputation start going down the drain because they're thinking that she's on some ride around, shoot 'em up, bang, bang shit. She wants to then change the narrative. I don't think Tory was trying to put that narrative. Why would he want to put it? Let's say Tory did do the shooting. Why would he want to put the narrative out that, oh yeah, we just riding around shooting people? No, if anything, he want to just be like, let's back up off of this. Meg's reputation, people start talking about Meg like, why is she riding around with niggas with guns? Like, her image started to be diminished, and she, and I believe Rock Nation, put out the statement to say, whoa, she's the victim here. Stop it. Don't be trying to make up shit in your mind like she's riding around shooting shit up. She not riding around with gangsters. She not involved in gangster shit. She's the victim. She actually got shot. That was the first time we heard different. They were like, wait, what? What? Then we start hearing, no, not only did she get shot, she got shot by Tory. That's what I remember happened. I could be wrong. But if you ask me, the reason why she first addresses this is not because Tory did anything. It's because we hear about this on the blogs and we're like, yo, who they beefing with? That's the first thing that come to mind. Damn, who they beefing with? Imagine Ariana Grande rolling around with NBA YoungBoy. And then some shooting. You hear about a shooting. You're like, damn, Ariana is in a shootout? What? You start thinking, oh, she on that gangster time. And she like, he a gangster nigga. She like gangsters. They sliding on ops. She bought that life. You start tearing down that little fairy tale like Disney persona you have of her. You start like, oh, she a hood bitch. That's what you think. Oh, she a hood bitch. At some point, Ariana's gonna come out and say, whoa, I don't do that. I got shot. That's exactly what happened. Okay? And okay. In her words, I never put my hands on nobody. Here we go.
I never put my hands on anybody. I never raised my voice too loud.
This interview is all lie, bro.
My hands on anybody. I never raised my voice too loud. Like, this was one of them times where it was like, it shouldn't have got this crazy.
It shouldn't have escalated to the way that it did.
So I get out the car and it's like everything happens so fast. Yes. And all I hear is this man screaming. He said, dance. And he started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, he shot a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It says Megan Kelsey had a physical altercation. It said the evidence says otherwise, that she didn't put her hands on no one. Megan Kelsey had a physical altercation. Eyewitnesses and physical evidence indicate a physical fight between Megan Pete and Kelsey Harris. Kelsey had open wounds and cuts on her. Oh, this was Kelsey's leg? You see this, chat? Wow. Now, Meg gave her the beats. So it says Megan Kelsey. Oh, so Kelsey had open wounds and cuts on her legs that were actively bleeding. No injuries were reported on Tory Lanez. The fight was between two women. Evidence of the fight. Not on the head. Y'all see the knot on the head? And the legs. Okay. Meg had a song called Shots Fired. Says, who a snitch? I ain't went to the police with no names. I thought a bitch that got a chain snatch caught a loss and had to say something. Hey. Huh? What? In her own words, there's a witness.
The people in the neighborhood, there's a witness. When the police came, because the neighbors called the police.
Okay, that was Sean Kelly. Sean Kelly's testimony. Oh, they got Sean Kelly on body cam. Eyewitness Sean Kelly told the police. Remember, the cops did not want to call Sean Kelly at first. I don't know why. Tory called Sean Kelly, Tory's team, in his defense team. But then the guy switched up his statement. Other than, this was what he should have said on the stand. Let's hear it. I never heard it before. This is new.
But no, it didn't. No?
They shot out of the car?
The windows were open, that's why it sounded like either way. Yeah, no, they were on my side. The girl opened the door, two girls fighting, and then they shot. Okay. She got out of the car and crawled over.
Yo, we need a full body cam of that, though. Tory's team, hey, we're not going to do this little cut and paste shit. We've never seen this body cam. Y'all got it for discovery. Drop the entire footage. We want to hear what, because I think this is a very important, I think this is the reason Tory's in jail. Tory's in jail because his witness flipped on him. His witness was supposed to say the woman shot. After his witness went upstairs to go talk to the prosecutor right before his testimony, the witness came down and said he's seen the short guy firing a gun. He's never said that before. Question: what did you see, sir? They were fighting. They had started fighting. The two girls, yes. And when you said the two girls were fighting, could you describe to the jury what they observed, what they were doing, and what they were fighting about? Not about how they were fighting. It says, well, they were pulling their hair, hitting each other. It was quite violent. This is initially when you start, when you still see only two girls, correct? It says, yes. What happened at this point? Was the fight continuing? Was it stopped? It says they were fighting for a while because I told my son to come in the room and ask him to get in my bed, and then they were still at it. They were fighting. They were all bent over some sort of warp. Okay. Sean Kelly testified that there were two women fighting and one of them fired the first few shots while Tory was still in the car. Okay, did you state, sir, that the shorter gentleman didn't come out of the car until the initial shot? It says, yeah. It says, excuse me? Yeah. So when the initial shot or fireworks started, isn't it true you said that my client was still in the car? Yes, I believe so. The shorter gentleman was in the car. Yes. Okay. And then you stated initially that the fighting with 2 girls. Did you say after you saw the 2 girls fighting, you saw one of the girls shoot? So I believe so. Thereafter, did you say that the shorter guy got involved at any point? Okay. In a separate interview, okay, this is good.
The doors of the...
In a separate interview, Sean Kelly saw Kelsey and Megan fighting, with Kelsey, the rear passenger, attacking Meg in the front. The driver, Jaquan, tried to intervene. He stated that the woman fired the gun while Tory Lanez described that the shorter black guy was still in the backseat of the vehicle. There's no way Tory fired 5 shots. Yeah, by the way, there's another theory I have, which is... It's the same theory. Kelsey's quiet because she knows she fired the first couple shots and Tory grabbed her hand, and the last 2 shots was Tory's hand and her hand on the gun, and it went wherever. Let's listen.
Escalade open, and the girl come out and pull open the passenger door and started screaming and yelling at somebody in the car.
So the girl who came out of the passenger, you're talking about the front passenger?
No, the rear.
The rear passenger. So the girl comes out of the rear passenger and she goes to the front passenger?
Yes.
And she opens up the car door?
Yes.
And then what happens?
They're screaming and shouting at each other, and they start fighting.
The 2 girls?
Yeah, I can see one feet coming out trying to kick her, and the other one's fighting, and then the passenger gets out.
So the girl who does the punching and the kicking is the girl that comes out of the back passenger?
The front. Can we stop there? Because I don't want to. I'll tell you, and then I want to go. My son's on his own.
Yeah, I understand. And it's loud with the cars.
I don't really want to. So basically, the car stopped. The girl in the back got out, started screaming and shouting, ripped the door, pulled the door open, but pulled it so sort of viciously. That's why I presume the driver got out. She starts screaming. She starts hitting the girl. The girl then had to sight her feet come out. She starts to kick the girl away. Passenger. They get out. They start fighting here. They start fighting. The driver comes round and tries to sort of break it up. It gets a bit more violent. And between them, the girl then climbs back into the front driver passenger seat.
Where's the shorter black guy?
He's in the back.
He's in the back of the car? Okay.
Then the gun.
By the way, again, I'm going to say to Tory's team, we can't, again, I know this is a pretty much part of this innocence project for Tory, but for further credibility, I know you guys are using pieces that match the narrative and the sequence of conversation, but these videos have never been seen before. Y'all should have them separately, that if someone wants to watch this interview, not 2 minutes, not 30 seconds, not 50 seconds, they could watch all 20 minutes of what Sean Kelly says, because what's gonna happen is y'all are gonna get accused of splicing shit up. Of, oh, yeah, they played the audio, but they cut it off at this part where he said, and then I saw Tory do it. So again, I'm cool with this, but y'all should have the full audio somewhere that people could refer to, that they know that y'all not being facetious. I'm not accusing y'all being facetious or, trying to do some funny shit, but you have to anticipate what detractors or even Alex Spiro is going to come back with.
And the girl shoots into her. The driver's door's open.
You're seeing the girl shoot?
Can I help you?
I have appointment at 3.
I think, is it this house?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
So you see the girl doing the shooting?
I see what appears to be the girl standing here and shooting into the car. That's what it looked like to me. But it was dark, and I'm above, but then the guy gets out again from the back.
Okay. All right. Okay. This is how it describes. He did say the girl shot. It says, together, the statements of Smith, James, and Kelly paint a consistent picture. Women were fighting, gun fired. Tory tried to de-escalate, okay? So, okay, we have 3 affidavits. EJ's testimony suggests there was a gun in the girl bag. That's the stylist. Harris' testimony, that's Kelsey, was inconsistent and unreliable, right? First, she says, I can't tell you the time, but yeah, July 12th. And did you see what happened? I mean, no. The way I was positioned, honestly, no. Then it was like, again, when I spoke with you a few different times, did you shoot Tory or did you shoot Megan? Says no. So who shot Megan? Again, when I was getting out, all I heard was shots. This is whatever. Kelsey confirmed she was not bribed. There's also been a lot of talk about bribery, and I want to, before I get into the facts, I want to talk about that. My client, has he paid you anything? Has Tory paid you anything? No. There's talk about hush money that Megan people have put out there. Has my client paid anything to you? No, and I would actually like to make that very clear because I've seen some things earlier from her attorney. I'm tired of that lie. No. Ms. Harris says, I never asked him to. This was on direct. Says, got you. Harris says, bye, give me a spot. They did this voluntarily for a year, which was not normal. After the incident, Kelsey received rent for an entire year after not speaking with Megan after the incident. It was covered by Meg's team. The term they has been used repeatedly. Why? Who's they? Who I think Meg team is? In her own words, he's standing over the window shooting.
In the car, shooting from the car, Megan?
He is standing up over the window, shooting.
So, but Tory never touched a gun. Okay, there's a lot of stuff here. So why would I lie?
Why would I lie? You want me to be a bad person so bad, and y'all motherfuckers want to believe the lie before you believe the truth.
Okay. Text message evidence appears edited. Alex with private gym. There's a text about an address that's not in this message here that was shown by Alex Spiro. Or, well, I guess they blacked out. It was an address. That's not edited. Is this the same? This is the same. This is the same. This is the same. This is the same. Yep. This is the same. Smiley, smiley. This is the same. This is the same. The text and evidence says, help, Tory shot Meg, 911. This other one says, oh, and handled me. Okay, so that would be new. That's kind of interesting. Wow, interesting. In her own words, dance bitch. Did he really say that?
And all I hear is this man screaming. He said, dance.
Did he really say that? This is, oh, we get a clear video of the Ring camera. So you can hear the conversation, correct? So yes, quite clearly, but at any point did you hear anyone say dance? Now again, a gunshot is way louder than even a screaming woman. It says, when you got out of the car, did anybody say dance bitch, or did you hear anything about a word? So no, I didn't know where that came from. That's Sean Kelly and Kelsey. Kelsey says she never heard dance bitch either. Sean Kelly, who was inside, he says he could hear, some screaming, but he didn't hear that neither. In her own words, I thought the doctor were the police.
I get to the hospital. The doctors do X-rays on my feet. Oh, ma'am, you got bullets in your feet. Got bullet fragments in your other foot. I'm thinking the doctors is the police, so I'm still trying not to tell them like, nah, I didn't know I got. You know what I'm saying? I'm scared. Like I've never been shot before.
So which doctor, Megan? Here's the medical facts that don't fit the narrative. Dr. Anthony Lafredo described the injury as a laceration from broken glass. There's no mention of gunshot wounds and fragments, and this was the ER on 7/12/20. There was an orthopedic doctor that saw her afterwards that diagnosed as bilateral gunshot wound. Based on imaging, he provided 3 small fragments under general anesthesia and called the wound superficial, yet he did perform surgery, even though the wounds were supposedly superficial. Claimed the fragments were bagged and they were given to police. Dr. Anna Howell, a day later, a plastic surgeon, described the wounds as superficial and cleanly closed. The x-rays showed no fractures, minimal residual shrapnel. Dr. Howell treated for cellulitis, an infection, and was discharged without mention of ballistic trauma. So the first doctor, the ER doctor, said nothing was wrong. She stayed there. Another doctor saw her, and he was orthopedic. He says he found gunshots on some scans, and then gunshot fragments on some scans, and then this other person did not have to do too much. Basically said that there was no trauma from gunshots. Key medical filings. Okay, the fragments went missing. Preliminary hearings, detectives stated that the bullets were missing. Bullet fragments were missing. Prosecutors later claimed LAPD had them. An inconsistency suggesting evidence mismanagement or miscommunication. Prosecutors claimed LAPD still has the bullet fragments allegedly removed from Megan's foot, yet during a preliminary hearing, Detective Ryan Stogner stated the fragments were missing. If LAPD had the fragments, why did the lead investigator testify in this matter? The chain of custody comes from the question with such a clear error. This casts doubt on the integrity and completeness of the evidence. Says this is again court transcript. Now the bullet fragments, which were allegedly removed from Meg's ankles, they can be located, correct? It says correct. So why did the lead investigator say that? Meg's faulty claims and medical records. On August 17, she went to the club with an ace bandage on her left foot, despite claiming to have been shot in both feet. There was also no signs of nerve damage per the doctor's testimony, even though Meg insisted she suffered nerve damage. So was there a lot of pain afterwards? She said, yes, I couldn't walk for a while, and I couldn't feel the left side of my foot. Did you have nerve damage? She says, yes, and I still have some nerve damage. Question, what did you mean by that? Answer is, I can't really feel the left side of my foot. Question, and based on your experience, is that, did you see anything that there was nerve damage, blah, blah, blah? And so we didn't identify nerve damage. However, somebody could feel something different than what the doctor is saying is there, okay? Because Meg might not know what nerve damage feels like. Okay, here we go. Contrary to popular belief, Tory showed clear concern and care for Meg. Here we go.
Address that the incident occurred, the shooting happened?
Nah, I don't know the address, bro. I was just trying to help my girlfriend. 1 second, bro.
Stay right here for me, bro.
Mego.
Hey, we got an ambulance coming for her, okay? Hey, bro, step up right here. We got an ambulance coming for her, all right?
Just a quick question.
It's gonna be good.
Do you have any injuries on you?
No, I don't.
Do you need an R?
Sure. I got come for your friend now, okay?
Okay.
Do you want to talk about what happened tonight?
Just trying to get my girl's safety, basically.
Your girl to safety?
Yeah, I think we need to get the full body cam of the interrogation of Tory and of Kelsey. Okay. So there's some prosecutorial misconduct concerns. So prosecutors intended to use Tory Lanez rap lyrics, tattoos, and uncharged prior incidents to prejudice the jury. Now it says intended. I think they ruled that out in pretrial. I don't think they could have mentioned his lyrics because he has a song called Shooters. Having shooters in the Uber. He has a tattoo of an AK-47 right here. I think they couldn't use images of him shirtless at all. They said mentioning Tory Lanez's right to not testify potentially violated his constitutional protections. I don't know if they did that in court, but if they did, that would. Tory Lanez's choice to not testify is a protected constitutional right, and the fact that a defendant does not testify on his own behalf should not be fodder for the courts, nor an interpretation of guilt. I didn't. Was that really mentioned? Interesting if it was. It says justice requires clarity, fairness, and facts, not assumptions. Okay. Now, I seen some people ask. They said, why are we just seeing this evidence now? Now, all this evidence existed before Tory went to trial. Just to be very clear, there's nothing new here except the affidavits, honestly. Like, again, when all of these things would have been provided in discovery, which would include the body cam footage, interrogation footage, hospital body cam, medical reports, the Sean Kelly interview. These are new, though. There's sworn affidavits from Jaquan. For whatever reason, Jaquan, and by the way, I wonder, Jaquan must have gotten interviewed. I want to see what he said. How does the driver not get interviewed by the police? It's clear Tory got interviewed by the police. Why don't we have Jaquan? What did he say then? I don't know. By the way, I think they didn't use some of what Jaquan said in court because Jaquan was missing. But we also have this new person called Bradley James, who's Kelsey bodyguard from the trial. The other new things that are here are, obviously things that happened in court, is to show that maybe he was railroaded in court. But all of this evidence is basically kind of giving us a transparent view of what was seen in court. And despite these things being seen in court, and despite these, you could raise these objections or saying, all right, that don't look right or whatever, they still convicted Tory. So I think we're seeing it now as the public. I think Tory's team should upload every single thing. Every part of Discovery, just upload it. Just upload the whole thing. But we are seeing things here for the first time, but they're not new to Tory's team. Tory's team did have access to this before trial. Okay, all this would be in Discovery. Now, these interviews happened right before trial too, and some of them were referenced, like, for example, the Gayle King interview. And also, obviously, this video, which was an Instagram live. All right, we will see, man. There's growing support for Tory, and we're going to see where it goes. There's growing support for Tory and his plight to get free. I keep telling you, it's going to take some other body to really pressure the governor for them to even look at this case again. Especially after a day like yesterday, we just seen so many different people get pardoned by the president of the United States, Donald Trump. This is not a federal case, it's a state case. And because it's a state case, Gavin Newsom got to do something, or else it's not much other legal recourse other than an appeal or an appellate process for Tory. And I've told you, I've given you my thoughts on that. I think there's a 30 to 40% chance currently on either of those appeals working. All right. We will see. We will see. But Tory is fighting. He's fighting. I'm not going to lie. He's not going to. I think his team is also fighting extra hard because they feel like he might get killed in jail. Right. All right. Back to the Diddy case. I see Tory. Like, I see Tory's team and everybody else. Yo, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like talking about this Tory shit no more. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Because I've realized there's certain people who might even be supporters of me. And y'all are starting to do the shit that I don't like doing. Which is like, y'all want me to say what y'all want me to say instead of me being able to say what I want to say. I love Tory, but I'm not part of a propaganda or a team. I think Tory should have been found not guilty. That's what I believe. However, I am realistic. And what I think is happening now is his new thing is based on hope. And I just want to be very clear. I can't just sit here and lie. So it's like, I feel like people want me to lie. Like, they're like, oh, no, you got to just say, no. There's not going to be, I'd rather just not talk about it because I fuck with Tory. I want him to get out. I wish he didn't get locked up. But if I got to speak about some shit, I got to be very honest. As I said, and I said then and I said now, I felt like he was convicted unfairly. I'm going off of the court process. Not what you think, the court process, but also I was not in court. I see everybody like, yo, this and third. I see some of y'all, yo, talk about Tory, what do you want me to say? Everything we saw today was available in Discovery. So we're going to have real conversations. Was Tory's lawyers trash? Or was the jury biased? Or did the prosecutor and the judge railroad him? Okay? All those things could be possibilities. The point of what I'm trying to say is that I'm looking at everything I'm seeing now, and I'm like, bro, I don't know what y'all want to say. All these videos were available. They were available. They were in discovery. They got played in court. Like, this is not some shit that, like new footage. When you see acts on body, I request body cam footage all the time for things that I need. Hip-hop shit. That's a company. They only work with law enforcement. They give footage, and they have a cloud that gives footage only to police departments. Police departments only then gives it to the actual parties who are victims or defendants. This shit was available. Okay? Do I believe Tory was railroaded? I absolutely do. But I don't know what we could do. Like, I'm in the spot where I don't know what we could do. So, I mean, we could keep saying it. Yo, let Tory out. Free that man. I love that man music. Free him. But it's at the point where I think we got to look at it and be a little bit realistic and say, if we're at the Hail Mary, let us know. The Hail Mary would seemingly be, oh my God, that's kind of crazy. Hail Mary would seemingly be a pardon. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like y'all want me to tell y'all something different. And I could get up here and lie and be like, yo, new footage has not to say nothing. Ain't no new in here. The fuck are we talking about? I'm just more confused. How did the jury see this shit and convicted him? But it's not new. I'm confused. I have no idea why Tory's in jail. I am very confused why he's in jail. I got a lot of questions for George Medeshvin or whatever his name is. He was the lawyer. How the hell you got all this evidence and you get that man found guilty? How? That shit don't even make sense. How? I would love to talk to him. You know who I want to talk to? I want to talk to Tory's lawyers. His first lawyer team. How the fuck did you have all this shit and you went to jail? How? Chat, I'm genuinely confused, but I'm just not a liar. This was not shown to the jury? Chat, we weren't in court. They showed this in court. When the detectives popped up, they showed, not all of it, but they showed excerpts of this. What are you talking about this wasn't showed in court? My nigga, do you really think that they fucking did a whole thing and this only popped up now, bro? Like, stop the dumb shit, bro. This is public shit. What are y'all talking about? Now, granted, I think there are certain things that happened in the Tory case. The judge allowed certain shit he shouldn't have. The prosecutor had an axe to grind. And I think Tory's lawyer was trash. It's trash. If he had YSL steal, I think he'd get out. He beat that shit 4-0. Sweep. If he had you think Brian Steele would let that? Come on, bro. Bro, the point what I'm trying to tell y'all, and I hate to keep going back to it, bro. Like, I'm just not like, I'm my own man, bro. Like, I'm not on nobody's team type shit like that. I told you, Big Ack is way too, like, I'm way too prolific to be like a puppet for anybody, period. In reality, here's the thing. When I look at this shit right here, this is what I say. How the fuck do you have a footage of a woman saying, I was not shot, Tory's team had this shit in the beginning, nigga. They got to turn this over to you. He would get out on appeal for a Brady violation. A Brady violation means the prosecutor withhold evidence that could exonerate you. The woman says, I'm not shot. They said it in court. But you know what happened? Meg showed up. And she cried, oh my God, no, I was trying to protect him. They believed her. They did believe her. But if you're a defense attorney and you have a video of her saying, she not shot. The cops saying, I think she stepped on glass. There's the glasses right there on the floor. She cut herself. Oh, she cut. You have all that and you blow trial? Bruv, come on, gang. I'm with y'all with all the conspiracies, but dog, what type of lawyers? Yo, I could have got Tory off of this case. Are we dumb? Yo, chat, keep it a bean, bruh. The thing is, I'm not going to go with the narrative and act like, oh, new footage has been released. It's not new footage. It's old. It's old. And it's footage we only didn't see because there's a protective order. The lawyers seen it. The prosecutors had it. The jurors seen it. And everybody knew about this shit. How the hell did Tory Lanez's lawyer blow trial? Chat, let's keep it a bean. Now, again, if y'all want to answer that and say, yo, it was a railroading. Yo, you know Rock Nation made the call. And they made the call and the prosecutors start cheating and then they had to vote whatever way because, cool, I get it. A part of that, I ain't gonna lie. Make a little sense. I think this is Tory versus Rock Nation more than Tory versus Meg. So I understand that. I'm just not gonna, there's some Tory fans who want me to just say, oh my God, this is brand new. This is not brand new. I look at this and I said, Tory's lawyers was trash. George Medeshin, I want to invite you to my stream. You don't represent Tory no more. You fired your ass. You got him a guilty verdict. George Medeshin, whatever your name is. Tory Lanez. I would love for you to show up here, but I guarantee you won't. I know why you won't. Because you know he's going through appeal. And in appeal, I don't think he's blamed you yet. But right here. Bingo. This nigga right here. I would love to invite him. I will sit down with him any single time. I know this case like the back of my hand, inside out. Anytime I see some information, I sat here and covered this trial. I ain't wasting my time. I'm not doing this shit because I think it's cute, nigga. Even with this Diddy trial, whatever the verdict is, I'm reviewing as much things as possible. You think I'm just sitting here listening to Lauren Collin because I'm like, oh, we got views? No, nigga. I sat there for days with the Tory trial. I know exactly what's been in there. This nigga got him guilty. So how the fuck are we seeing these things? A reasonable person could put two and two together to say, yo, we don't even got to say, like, I know some people be like, oh no, the girl shot it. Fuck that theory. By the way, they went with that theory. Well, fuck that theory. Yo, they're accusing me of shooting a bitch. The bitch said when the cops showed up, nobody shot me. The bitch then later said I stepped on glass at the hospital. The fucking cops at the scene said, there's fucking glass. How do I go to jail? The answer got to be this motherfucker. No chat, come on, bro. No? Chat, I'm asking y'all. Everything we're seeing, and this is why I said I can't lie to y'all. Because if I would lie to y'all, I would be like, oh no. I could lie to y'all and be like, oh no, they're about to pardon him. Bruv, the man who is, Tory should have stayed his ass in fucking Florida. He would have got a pardon in Florida. That's a fact. In a place like Florida where, number one, they don't look at a gun like a fucking atomic bomb. They look at a gun in Jersey, New York, California like a bomb. A gun being fired is like, you know why? Because they got to protect all them residents in them high-priced neighborhoods. They can't let an example of weapons being fired multiple times and niggas don't go to jail for 10 years. If that shit was in Florida, even if he got convicted, he probably wouldn't have got convicted. But he would have got a pardon. DeSantis would have pardoned his ass. That's a fact. That's why I keep telling y'all, stay out of Florida. I live in Jersey, trust me. I hope and I wish I never got to use my guns here. If I got to use my guns, I want to be in Florida. I want to be in Texas. Because gun laws here anytime you pull out a gun, you better really think you about to die. Because or else you're going to jail. They don't like guns. All these places y'all like going to, that's why I say I love Florida and I love Texas. Florida, Texas. Atlanta, cool too. You seen that motherfucker, Lil Tim, no matter what you want to say about him, he smoked motherfucking King Von and he is chilling. They dropped that shit. They didn't even put out a statement. You know why they say? Man, you came to Georgia, fuck around and find out, nigga. Fuck around and find out. That's how they treated that King Von case. Fuck around and find out, nigga. You came down here, you thought you had mad niggas because y'all got sticks in Chicago. Illinois not like that. Illinois don't like guns like that, even though they still let you out because their incarceration rules is crazy. So they keep letting niggas out, but Illinois supposedly has like the top 5 toughest laws on guns. Atlanta love guns. Georgia love guns. So when King Von gets smoked, nigga, they dismiss that shit. That nigga got no charges against him. They don't give 2 fucks about King Von. They're like, nigga, you fucked around and you found out. You dead. I'm sorry to say it. I love King Von. I know I bump his music all the time. But that's the facts. In reality, Tory's in jail because this shit happened in Cali. And this is why it shows you how important where you are. As crazy as it might sound, a lot of niggas is free because they caught federal charges. For example, Lil Wayne. If Lil Wayne had caught, remember when he went to jail? Remember when Lil Wayne went to jail? In New York? He had to serve time. Bro, he caught another gun charge, but it was federal. He never even been to jail. He got pardoned by Trump. Kodak lied on the ATF form. You fill out an ATF form every time you get a gun. Lied on it. Say he wasn't a felon. Trump pardoned him. But with Tory, you can't do nothing to it. So it's like, I can't lie to y'all. Like, Tory's in a tough spot. He should have stayed his ass out of Cali. Y'all rappers who love guns, stay out of Cali. Cali, Jersey, New York, stay out of it. Especially if you're a felon or especially if you like to be busy with guns. These places say you got to be on your last breath before you can use your gun. The criminal uses his gun anytime. You got to be on your last breath before you're legally allowed to use your gun in Jersey, New York. That's why I tell everybody I'm scared as a bitch. Akademiks as a whole, and I think everybody want to kill me. If something happened, I'm 100% scared of my life. That's the only way you can use a gun. When you in Florida, a nigga blink too crazy at you, you pop that nigga, man. Now just don't chase him like Antonio Brown, but you pop that nigga, man. That's a fact. Call Milagro, she said the footage wasn't shown. Bruv. Stop trying to spit in the air and call it fucking rain. I don't care what y'all are telling me. I have a brain, and I'm going to tell you what exactly happened. Number one, most of this was either shown in court or Tory's team and Tory's lawyers had this before. This nigga didn't show it. Don't drop it on a website. Show it in court. If it's so effective to us 2 years later on a website, why don't you show it in court? You know that I'm telling you, it's impossible that they just got the full body cam now. It's impossible. So what happens in court when you're charged with a crime, the prosecution goes first, then the defense goes next, which means you have an opportunity to bring up shit that could say, I didn't do it. So if it wasn't shown in court, it still becomes, what the fuck did this nigga do? What did he do? Are you not saying that? I mean, I blame Rock Nation with y'all. I think Rock Nation be trying to set niggas up. I say the prosecutors hated Tory and they wanted a conviction because like the whole DA department, the whole DA office was running on like, you know what I mean, protect women shit. I'm with y'all with that. But what did he do? If this wasn't shown in court, but it's effective with you thinking Tory's innocent, why he ain't show it? Oh, so y'all want to talk about that, right? I'm telling you, it's impossible. Look it up. Brady we just seen it in the Rust case. Rust case. Brady violation. I played a fucking video. Alec Baldwin, criminal case. It was dismissed because the fucking police had bullet fragments or bullets that they never told the defense about. When it got found out, case dismissed. You cannot refile. You can't hold evidence or hold videos against, bruv, like what are we talking about? Look.
Just learning now that the case against Alec Baldwin in the Rust shooting trial has been...
Okay, I'm glad you said, Young Money, I'm not wrong. Even if, when you say it was presented at trial, if you think this is exculpatory, which means it proves Tory's innocent, why his lawyer put it up there? You ain't gonna answer that? Why Tory's lawyer put it up there? So Tory's lawyer wasn't lawyering that. So either way, I'm still right. If the prosecutor don't got to put it up there. They got a conviction, so they clearly won. If you're the defense and you didn't put it up there, the only thing you can say, whoever who donated that, tell me that Tory's team didn't have it before. Fuck if it was shown. Tell me if Tory's team didn't have it before. They had it before. They had it before. So if we're playing defense and we got the shit to win and we don't use it, that don't, like, what the fuck are we doing? Now, the reason why I said it got to be shown before, because they're showing it to us now. They must think it matter now. Cool. So my next assumption would be it was a railroading. So despite something that shows, at least in my eyes, Tory shouldn't be convicted, he still got convicted. That means the judge, the prosecutor, or the juries, something is up. But if you tell me this wasn't shown, if you tell me this wasn't shown, so you told me Tory hired a Timu lawyer. It's a Timu lawyer. You fired Sean Kelly, you hired a Timu lawyer. No, I'm down to get on. As I said, when I'm covering these cases, I put a lot of my time, my effort. I put my life into what I do on a stream daily. I'm not up here just talking, just counting money. I mean, I do, but still, I really, like, I feel like I know these cases intimately. Pause. I get on Discord with y'all. Let me get on Discord. I haven't been on Discord in a while. Anybody who could articulate why you think, and I'll take, like, I'm going to have a reasonable discussion with you. I get on Discord. I get on Discord right now. I'm in the Chat Niggas channel. I'm unmuted. Please only move people in there who could articulate why they think the things they saw today. Again, I think the only angle Tory has, which I agree with, is that he got railroaded. The idea that this is new is not true. That's my only thing. It's not true. And I have to think, if you're shown it now, it must have been shown in the trial. Or if it wasn't shown in the trial, that means George Medeshin, or whatever his name is, didn't do it. If it wasn't handed over to the defense, because body cam is only gotten by the police, and it is given to the detective, then it's given to the DA. The DA, when they're bringing somebody after they file charges, has to turn this over. You can't even start trial. You got to turn it over. Listen, look. I just want to play you what the judge said. What did the judge say? I want the royal thing. It doesn't have it here. Fuck. This might be I can't find it. Right.
Judicial system and the efficient administration of justice. Your motion to dismiss with prejudice is granted.
It got dismissed because they withheld evidence. If you said I killed a nigga, but the cop showed up to the scene, you charged me, said I killed that nigga. The cops show up to the scene and somebody on the scene said, I ain't gonna lie, I did it. And you charged me with the murder. All right, now I'm fighting the murder. The whole time I never knew a nigga said he did it. You don't send me the video. You have it on body cam. You never tell me or send me the video that the nigga, there's some other nigga who claimed he did the murder. When it gets to court, if I ever find out about that video, it's an instant dismissal. The case is done. Just like this, Alec Baldwin found out later they did not tell him some shit about some bullets or whatever that was turned in that could do some ballistic shit. The judge dismissed it. So what I'm trying to say, what we're seeing is discovery. We're not seeing new info. It's discovery. The only new info is affidavits. Affidavit from the driver, which has been in for a few months. Affidavit from Kelsey's bodyguard, which has been in for a week. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing else. If y'all can't properly articulate...
Oh, my bad. Hey, Ak, you think that Meg and Rock Nation purposely had this stuff not get in discovery? Because you know Rock Nation work harder than the devil.
It was in discovery, and I think this is why I hate when people just like... Listen, I believe Tory was unfairly convicted, but we can't just have 15 different things. This is why Tory won't get out. You have some people saying she wasn't shot. Then people are saying, all right, well, she was shot, but it wasn't by Tory. You got to pick a story, or else you just look like you're just like a delusional nigga in denial. I have a theory, and if my theory gets proven wrong, I'll look at the next more likely and possible theory. My theory has not gotten proven wrong. My theory is this. Tory did not shoot the bitch. She's fighting with the other girl over the fact they're both fucking Tory. The girl starts beating her ass. Look at her legs. She would start dragging her. Remember, she's in the car. Meg goes around, opens the door, starts hitting her. She starts kicking Meg. Meg grabs her feet, drags her on the ground, starts beating her up. The driver gets out to break it up, right? The driver is breaking up, whatever. When the girl gets like, obviously Meg doesn't have her anymore, she fucking runs to the car. She can't fight Meg. She's half Meg's size. She goes to get the gun and she fucking tries to shoot. She tries to shoot Meg. Tory hops out and tries to hit her hand. The fucking gun hits like some other shit. So the first 3 shots is her trying to shoot Meg. Or, I don't know, try to scare me. I don't know if she was really trying to shoot. But, come on, he shot at her. The next 2 shots, Tory, blah, blah, blah. Okay, bet. After that happened, first of all, everybody's drunk. Tory's stupid ass don't tell the cops nothing. You know how I said I want to see the full interrogation footage? Because I want to see if... Is Tory that stupid that Tory didn't even tell the cops they were fighting? Like, the cops ignored the idea that the women were fighting. Because think about this. They charged Tory for a shooting and never acknowledged Tory supposedly wasn't the main one fighting. It was 2 women who were fighting. If 2 people are fighting and you hear about somebody got shot, isn't it a logical conclusion to say, oh, it's one of the people who are fighting that shot? So
Tory said he a street nigga. He can't snitch.
That's another issue. I agree. That's another issue. So that's part of my theory. My theory remains steadfast. Everybody who says Meg wasn't shot, shut up. I don't believe you. She was shot, not directly, but she was hit with a bullet that hit the street, hit the asphalt, that fractured, and shrapnel hit her feet. Okay? Okay, so that happened. So if you're still arguing, oh, I don't think she was shot. Brother, you're not going, like, they're going to look at you as the person who is still arguing about flat earth. We can't argue about more advanced shit if you're still like, well, I really don't think the earth is round. I think that bitch is flat. All right, motherfucker. So let's not talk about what's going on in the earth core, and let's not talk about gravity and this other. You are on some other shit, my nigga. Okay? The point is this. You got to concede certain points. My theory, I've held this theory since almost before the trial. Now, granted, I don't blame Tory's team for trying to bring up anything. Hey, if y'all can't find the bullet fragments, how you know she was shot? Yeah, that's fine. Tory's team can bring it up. You bring up anything. Yo, Vibes Cartel who got charged of murder. Yo, y'all tampered with my phone. How you know this? How you know you ain't playing the evidence on there? All right, that makes sense. That's what a lawyer's supposed to do. What I'm saying is for people who are just going on with the stupidity of saying 5 things that contradict each other is that the only theory that makes sense is 2 women fighting, 1 woman who got beat up, introduced the gun. Tory tried to intervene. That's why he has gunshot residue. The woman in question who admitted when the gunshots got fired, her back was turned. The only way she could see afterwards is after 3 shots get fired, and now Tory's running towards the girl, and then they're struggling for the gun. 2 more shots. She looks back. She's drunk already. She ain't know. Remember, she says, I'm walking away, and I hear shots. It's not like she's like, I see Tory take the gun. She said, I'm walking away. It was the woman firing. The woman fired. So now, when she turned back after the first 3 shots, because there's a pause, she sees Tory fighting with the gun. That's why, in her mind, Tory shot her. The best friend is quiet as a motherfucker. She not going to say nothing because she's been let off the hook. She's been let off the hook. Here's the thing, too. For everything that we're now seeing, Tory should have taken the stand. And this is where the snitching thing comes about. Bro, y'all dropped the website. It literally said, that bitch did it. You might as well say that in court. Don't run the play after the game. Run the play during the game. Don't run the play after.
So was this a classic case of keeping it real go wrong?
Yes. Tory's team more than ever. Yo, in court, they were pointing the elbow. Right now, they're pointing the fist. They still ain't get to pointing the finger. Fuck that. Tory should have pointed the finger from the get-go. She did it. Yo, it's a domestic violence situation. Bruv, come on. Like, what are we talking about here? And again, I'm like, you know, I seen some people like, oh, yo, I think you switching up on Tory. No, I'm just not a fucking idiot. I still think he was wrongly convicted, but I'm not going to just say, all right, yo, his team wants to get him out by any. They don't give a fuck if they said, God fired the gun from. They don't give a fuck what happens. I'm going to still work off logic because I feel I'm working off the truth. I don't feel I'm working off just because I'm Tory's friend. I don't think I'm just working off just Tory's friend. I really do believe that Tory got wrongly convicted. So I need shit to make sense for me. And if I was being just biased, I would just be like, yo, that's my man's. I would just tell y'all, that's my man's. So my man's, even if he's wrong, he kind of right. I don't know. All right, let me make something up. I don't even want to really use real names.
So do you blame it? So who we put the blame on? Do we put the blame on the lawyer team?
I think Tory's team got to take some accountability. Because here's the thing. You know why his appeal is getting hard? Why do you think Tory's team is making this big push towards all this stuff they're putting out is for a pardon? Here's my thing. I think they need a big name with it. That rep in Florida ain't big enough. They need a big name with it. A big name. Trust me. To really pressure that nigga. Like, yo, you got to go pardon him. Because right now, as much as them signatures is 300,000 signatures is dope, but they're looking at this shit like, nigga, you know how much? Let's look how many people up in motherfucking California. How many people in California? 39 million. Y'all don't even have 1/40th of that. They don't give a fuck. Now, we should probably say how many people voted. How many people voted in California elections? Probably 13 or 14, right? 16. But even then, so 16 million people voted in California elections, right? 17 voted in the state election, in the government, federal government. So 16 million people, bro. 300,000. Like the governor's not even thinking like, oh my God. If half his base was like, yo, you better look at this nigga will be running and moving. Right now, you think, bro, I'm telling you. And as much as the hip hop community like fucks with this shit, you get to realize the bigger world. Bruh, if Tory got 3 million people, that probably would do something. He has 300,000 right now. It's 10%. Now, granted, he's just getting started. But I think this is why he needs a big name, a rep. Somebody who is also going to put their reputation and their name on it. Somebody who has some power politically. Somebody that has some quid pro quo. Hey, I need you to look at this for me because, you know, I'm gonna do something for you later. You get what I'm saying? This ain't the MTV VMAs. Like, I'm not saying a change.org petition don't work, but you have to be hitting at numbers that's crazy for a motherfucker like this who knows that this case, to even look at it or speak about it, the nigga won't even comment about it. Because if he comment about it, he gonna turn off the people who are supporting Tory. And if he say something positive about it, he might turn off half his base. So he's just gonna keep quiet. He ain't gonna address it. If I'm Tory's team, you know what I'll be doing? I'm paying people to go to all of his rallies, anything he got going on. Hey, have you seen this thing? You see what I did with Donald Trump's son? That's how you got to do. Hey, Governor Gavin Newsom. Hey, have you heard about the Tory Lanez case? It looked like he was railroaded. There's so much evidence coming out that say he's actually innocent. What's your thoughts on this? You know what he gonna say? He gonna get flustered. Be like, they got him on a wrong shooting. He's a black man. Blah, blah, blah. You know, you know, I'm gonna go look at it. You got to put his ass to the fire. That's what I'm telling you. That's what Tory's team got to do. Bum rush that nigga. Put it like this, nigga. When I asked Donald Trump's son about it, nigga, he ain't know nothing about the case. You know what he could dig into? Well, we're super pro Second Amendment. You know, a lot of Republicans, they want to pull back some of the idea that quote unquote felons can't have a gun. It's not necessarily they want to have felons to have weapons, but they believe that it's a quintessential right of all Americans for the right to bear arms. They believe in 2A very strong. Okay? And him not knowing about Youngboy, he probably never heard of NBA Youngboy before I spoke it to him. And again, I'm not taking credit for nothing, but the point is this. He could at least dig into it's a gun possession. Well, the way their ideology is, all Americans should be able to have a gun. So now when they have something that they feel people care about, they might be like, we might look at it and review it because you've brought it to our attention in a public format. Right? Listen, whoever, Tory team got to get somebody to go, I don't care if it's like a town hall meeting, wherever Gavin Newsom is at. Hey, sir, all of these little woke ass journalists, you tell me Gavin Newsom will do interviews with, like, look, I'm not in Cali, so you know what I mean? Like, but one of y'all motherfuckers could get an interview with him and just bring it up. Yo, hey, have you looked into
So you think he should reach out to Carson Tucker? I think Carson Tucker might be the person.
Yes. Carson Tucker, Gavin Newsom. They done an interview together?
No, but I think I think Tory team should reach out to him and see can they get like a jail interview with him. That would be the best person to get like that attention.
Yo, there ain't nothing Tory can say right now. You got to get, this is the guy. This is Donald Trump for Tory. You need somebody to bring it to this. Yo, put it like this. You know when shit started changing and he did a few different things. I don't know if y'all be into politics because some of y'all just like, I don't know what y'all be on. The whole forest fire shit happened. Trump was on his ass. They confronted him. They confronted him a few times and like, yo, what's up, blah, 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 blah. And he had to make some definitive statements on shit. You got to get answers from these niggas.
Okay, everybody, you've been you believe in or you become really tough.
Yep. This is the guy, Gavin Newsom. He's right here. He's the governor.
And you create that muscle that allows you.
But I just didn't realize.
It's 890 medals and trophies that we know of in the last 5 years. That's a lot.
No, so let me step back, say completely fair on the issue of fairness. I completely agree. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that. There's also a humility and a grace, that these poor people are more likely to commit suicide, have anxiety and depression. And the way that people talk down.
Now, here's the thing. And when I say shit like this, y'all niggas don't like hearing it. Y'all got to know what these people stand on. You see, Trump believes in gun laws. He's a Republican. You got this nigga right here. He's like a little moist-ass motherfucker. He signs laws to ban guns. So when you're charged with a crime that involves a gun, he looks like a hypocrite if he gives you a pardon. Because he's making new laws to make sure niggas don't have guns. Look, Gavin Newsom. He's in gun laws. He's a Republican. Look, Gavin Newsom, look, he just signed, that's 5 years ago. Look, here we go.
And Governor Gavin Newsom has until Monday to either sign or veto the bills on his desk.
He's been busy pushing through some new laws. ABC